Okay, on the air with us this morning, we have Eric Johnston. He is a stand-up comedian that has been basically everywhere at this point. We've crossed paths a couple of times during our walk through life, Eric, and you're going to be here in our neck of the woods soon.
Oh, you and I are reunited, and it feels so good. And I am, I'm like a Johnny Cash song. I've literally been everywhere. Even in the last, 3 months, I've been from Halifax to Vancouver. I did something cross-country called the Run with the Bull Comedy Tour. I did 55 shows across Canada. I came home on tour. I got engaged, and then I came home and I told my fiance, babe, I'm going to take the summer off. And then that lasted about a week, and now I'm back on tour called the Home for the Summer Tour. And it's coming to PEC tonight into Sam's Place. So, yeah, I'm excited that we're here. Now you're in Belleville, and it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, no, it has worked out perfectly. I love that. And this is a big thing because you are the first comedian to do Sam's Place, right?
Yes, I'm the first comedian to ever do Sam's Place. Sam and I connected a couple months ago, and he's a real Italian. I'm a pretend Italian. We connected in that way. Talked about The Sopranos and all the jewelry we like to wear and vintage cars. And he's like, why don't you work my venue? You'll be the first comedian to ever do it. So I'm the first ever comedy show happening tonight at Sam's Place in Carrying Place. That's the little city that it's in. I know it's in Prince Edward County, but when I type it in, it comes up as Carrying Place. I've never heard of it, but I'm excited to go.
Can I go back to you being a fake Italian? Does that mean you put ketchup on your spaghetti or something?
No. I grew up in an Italian neighborhood. I've made a career off pretending to be Italian. I wear a lot of jewelry. I wear 7 types of cologne. It's like my cape. You picked growing up in my hometown, you're either Croatian or Italian or just a white kid. And I went, I'm going to go with the Italian kids. They got better snacks. So I've just stuck with that my entire life.
Better snacks.
Better cookies.
Yeah. Well, hey, look up Eric Johnston on Instagram because he has the best strut that I've ever seen on a person in my life.
Well, you got to be a fake Italian. You got to have the strut, right?
You should see him.
Oh, I was going to say, you'll know my vibes the second that you go to my Instagram. It's Eric Johnston, Eric with a C, Johnston with a T, WHO. I am strutting down the beach, and that is my whole vibes. Jewelry, cigar, and just huge vibes.
Huge vibes, huge biceps, too, by the way.
Keep going, please.
That's exactly it.
Can I just ask you quickly, as a comedian, because, we have this whole woke society, how much more difficult is it now?
Well, you know what? For me, I was always a pretty clean comedian anyways. I mean, I'm a storyteller. I tell stories about my family, my friends growing up, my relationships. Some of these comics go the other in the industry we call working blue or working edgy. I don't really do any of that anyway. So whenever all these guys were getting taken down, I just had more opportunities to headline. So it was fine for me.
Yeah, that really works out. And your act too, like you've mastered yelling.
Yes, I know how to yell, and it's not into the microphone. You take the microphone away when you yell.
Yeah.
And I always yell as a character. So people don't get annoyed by my voice. They get annoyed by the character. So it's good.
Yeah,
there's a real science to stand up.
Yeah, there's other big names that have mastered that yelling. Lewis Black, Dave Chappelle yells a lot. And watching you yell, do you practice at home? Do you just yell at random things around the house, or?
I mean, I yell at the cat when he pukes every morning. Our cat is on we call it the Daily Vomit. It's the worst newspaper I've ever received, the Daily Vomit. I yell at the cat sometimes. He's looking at me right now. He knows what he did. I just, 12 years of doing stand-up, you learn how to do it. It's just, I travel around and I learn what works and what doesn't. And, my dad was a professional wrestler. And he would learn that, what moves got the crowds going and what moves didn't. And I kind of learned the same way, but with stand-up.
How important, because I see your posts all the time and you talk about your dad a lot. And how important is your memories of your dad for your show?
Yeah, it's a lot. As for those who don't know, my father was the late, great Canadian Hall of Fame professional wrestler by the name of Bullwhip Danny Johnston, and he toured all over the world. And unfortunately, my dad passed away 9 days after my 13th birthday, which is terrible, obviously, but the trauma made me hilarious. And now I make a living being a stand-up comic, so there's some plus sides to it. But my dad was, a legendary entertainer. He was a comedic actor on the show Bizarre in the 1970s with John Byner and Super Dave Osborne. So my dad had been around, and I learned so much from him, and so much of my show was about him. There's probably a good 20 to 25-minute chunk in the middle of my show about my dad and my relationship with, having a professional wrestler as a father growing up. And I had the bushwhackers swimming in my pool. And I have all these pictures of every time I was around my one dad's friend, Randy, they go, "You got to go take a picture with my buddy Randy." And then I found the pictures as an adult, and it was Macho Man Randy Savage. And I didn't even realize as a small child, I was like young Rock. So I'm kind of involved in the wrestling industry myself. They're doing a book on me called 3 Generations of Bull, about my grandfather who was a wrestler, my dad who was a wrestler, now me, the comedian. I'm
following in the
a new
footsteps.
TV show executive produced by The Rock. So there's a bunch of stuff going on.
Well, right on, Eric. Really excited for you to be at Sam's Place tonight. It's going to be an awesome show, and tickets are available. And I guess it's the Sam's website, right?
Yeah, tickets are available at the door. We pulled the tickets off the website, and we just want to have people come to the door. So come to Sam's Place tonight. Get your tickets. Tickets are $30, and it's BYOB. But keep that on the down low, even though we're on the radio.
Right on, Eric. Well, thanks so much for hanging out this morning, man.
All right, thanks so much. See you guys.